Tell me your story.
I was this close to dying from a brain abscess that was misdiagnosed.
Good to know people care, though.
For a lot of people, the MRIs are clear.
You said you had a lot to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said,
I thought it was normal to have like seizures by yourself all the time.
You definitely will feel guilt a lot.
I so appreciate you putting this together.
thank you.
Jeff, what 3 items would you put in a time capsule for people 100 years from now? Time
That's a
capsule
tough one.
100 years from now. What 3 things?
Okay, I thought about mine. I'm thinking. Tom Brady would be one.
You're a sick guy living in the Bay Area and rooting for Tom Brady.
Yeah, we could just throw the ball around. Nobody else left.
I just thought a Monster, like a canned Monster energy drink. I would want to see if that's even sustainable for 100
Hey,
years or if it
Harry's
actually
back.
like, melts through the can like it's as toxic as I think it is.
Toaster, my Roadrunner's back.
Welcome, Esmeralda.
Beep beep.
Oh,
He hasn't been back.
by
Hello there.
surprise.
How's your day going, everybody?
Good. Good.
Good. Nice.
Esmeralda?
Yes, that's my middle name.
It's pretty.
That's a nice name.
Oh, I see. What's the icebreaker again?
What 3 items would you put in a time capsule for people 100 years from now?
I
You
have
said
one.
Tom Brady.
The planet.
There we
Because
go.
it's-
Save the world for at least
Yeah,
100
it's not
years.
going to be the same in 100 years. It probably won't even be here.
That's what I'm thinking. Who?
So I was thinking like some seeds. What could we put in there that would actually last 100 years?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a Jimmy Buffett CD.
See, and I'm thinking seeds for like plants and foliage and things to grow.
I'm thinking music. Or there we go.
Crystal.
An iPod with a charger.
With no charger.
Yes, with the charger.
No, with no charger.
With no charger? No,
With
no,
the-
with the charger. That way they can have the entire music collection.
This is gonna
And
be
A
no
band
premium,
fee.
so people could just do that for themselves.
A band tee.
A what?
T-shirt.
A band t-shirt.
A
Mm,
Maybe
really
3
comfortable pair of
items is
shoes.
too much.
3 items is too much, you said?
I said maybe 3 items is too much.
It just takes a lot of thought.
Besides, if I said the planet, what else is there? It encompasses everything.
Oh, a compass. A map.
What
and
are maps?
T-shirts.
A map.
What's a map?
Yeah, that's a lot deeper than I thought.
Yeah, because
Really a
I'm
tough
still
one.
trying to think.
Let's just do a item.
I guess some like fun little merch thing would be cool.
Put a snitch in. A stitch in. Yeah, snitch. Wow.
Yeah.
Thinking Harry Potter.
Okay, I got it. I would put one record. I would put Harry Chapin Greatest Stories Live album. I would put A Day in the Life by the Beatles, just a single. And one other, but I forgot it. Give Peace a Chance.
Give peace a chance. I wish the world would give peace a chance.
Yeah, because after 100 years, like we couldn't put any medication or something in there. It's not like penicillin would do anybody any good
Right.
that far away. We'll probably all be bots by then anyway.
Do you think there'll be people in 100 years?
Exactly. So maybe those that really comfy pair of shoes might go to waste too.
Petrified wood.
And now I'm thinking of Discovery, the first thing sent out, that gold disc that has like hello and
Hello, in 87 different languages that nobody out in space understands.
yes, but it's also engraved with a star map, and it's like thousands of years from now, some spacefaring
Chocolate.
is going to find it. And what would happen is if something like that landed on Earth?
Jeff would probably see it. Got some
Oh.
badass pictures of rocket launches this morning.
Yeah.
Well, in truth, if something like that landed on Earth, it wouldn't have the guidance system that the rockets here have. So it would crash into Earth, throwing it off its orbit and thereby destroying the Earth.
Okay.
And you can
Logic.
ask Mark and he'll verify that.
You had to bring logic into it.
I'm sorry.
Probably landing somewhere in water. Maybe
Reality.
there's some kind of defense
It
system
doesn't
already.
matter. If it landed in water, it would throw massive flooding all over the world. It would
So is
affect
this
the
thing that's
tides.
landing really big?
Yeah. Even if it's
Oh.
not, it's coming at millions of miles an hour.
Oh, so it'll still cause like a tsunami.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be like the meteor that killed the dinosaurs.
Okay, so nothing like the gold frisbee that I had in mind.
Nothing like the gold frisbee.
Okay.
Gold frisbee? Come on, what's
I
gold?
mean, when Toaster described it was gold, and I couldn't
A
tell if she said
disc.
round or a disc.
It's I thought it was the size of a record, honestly.
It's a record. It was a
is.
record.
Oh, okay.
But the capsule that encapsulates it, I only thought it was as big as like my bedroom.
It's a rocket with an antenna attached with a record player.
All right, well, I'll stick with Stitch,
Oh, not Discovery.
a can of Monster,
Voyager.
and some really
Sorry,
comfy
Voyager.
socks.
Voyager. Voyager
Sorry.
1.
Yeah, I don't know why I was singing Discovery.
Uh,
Voyager.
Or as it's known, V'ger.
V'ger. V'ger, yes.
V'ger.
Now we're going into Star Trek. Sorry we left you behind.
All
Okay.
right.
We'll meet you at the end.
So what does everybody else come up with?
I'm just gonna go with the socks, a Stitch, and a can of Monster.
They'll be worshiping the Stitch.
I'll go
Like
with
a
my
dog.
oldest son, Tom Brady, and my epilepsy medication.
Oh, if you could pick somebody to time travel.
Pick Jeffrey. If we're gonna do, if people could survive, it would be. I already have the names: Matthew, Nicola, Jeffrey.
Hmm.
But things.
Tesla?
Nicola, like Nikola Tesla.
Yes.
Yeah, that's his name. That's my middle
Interesting.
son.
That's an interesting name.
Yep, he was named after Nikola Tesla.
I would only send my oldest 100 years away. She would probably be the only one that I know that could actually sustain.
Survive.
Yeah.
So, first question. It is not ready yet.
Does anyone send messages that don't make sense when you're having a seizure?
I seen that
Every
message.
time without fail,
Oh,
when I have a seizure, I send messages like this, and it's always to my sister. Yep, especially Egypt and Syria. It's hard to use that as an excuse, but why is that? Epilepsy really is a curse, honestly. The edit says, I just saw a selfie I took during that seizure where I'm grimacing. It's a face of extreme disgust. It's really freaking me out. This is the kind of stuff that happened like before seizures were under control. When I just kept thinking it was going to keep getting worse and worse, is when stuff like this would be discovered after the fact, or when like 5 text messages had been sent to the same person for, whatever. And it was, I think it was closer to like a grocery list to the ex, but it was always for, what was she into? She liked some kind of gummy. I don't know. I don't remember, but it was something we never needed. And once you notice the trend, it's easy to get freaked out, but just take it as a sign that your seizures aren't under control yet. That's all. It's data, if anything. Appreciate the timestamp. Over time, that's how I got to look at stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Messages, no, but I have been known to just. My writing is terrible after. I mean, I mean, like I will put
Inspired.
different, no, different words like in the wrong place and forget, spaces. And there's a random capital letter. Just
Come on,
sticking
you're
out
talking
there.
grammatical. I thought you were talking about like swapping out your like dad's name for a character or something.
No, though I did call Juniper Jeffrey this morning.
Wow.
Just trying to call him the dog and yelling out Jeffrey instead of Juniper.
That happens in the morning too.
Yeah,
Yeah, no biggie.
Yeah, you can pass. It's the morning time.
I can pass as normal.
Does anybody buy anything that they don't need after a seizure or during a seizure?
I've done that.
I have not done that. All
I
my
freaked out
purchase.
the other night. I was having vocals, all like 4 of them, and in the middle of it, I called a dispensary and ordered 3/4 of an ounce of weed that I didn't need.
Oh, don't worry, it'll get used.
Oh, of course it's getting used, but it was just like, I don't know why I ordered it. I didn't need it. I'll eventually need it, but I totally freaked out about it.
Did you get a good price at least?
No, I paid more
No.
than I usually would. I couldn't reach my usual dispensary, so I had to go elsewhere.
Oh.
And their prices were higher. So I had to get somebody that delivered, which is the
Yeah.
great thing about California.
Yes, it is. About your question, Kate, with texting people, I don't think I've done that. I do have a tendency of going to meet people, I guess, walking off.
If I've done it, I don't recall it.
Yeah.
I don't put it out of the realm of possibility, though.
Yeah, I was just thinking that might be an interesting text because I don't really text a lot of people that
Actually, I am
often.
quite sure that I have. I just can't recall a specific instance. How about that?
Well, that's why I like the text idea better than the phone call or the meet in person because it's documented. Otherwise, you got to take their account of like what was said, what happened, and I might not remember 2 or 3 hours later, and that's a bitch.
Texting, I
Some of
don't.
the comments too agree, saying, not always, but I have sent a few to my mother and my boss. I thought it was because I always notify my mother after a seizure and muscle memory kicked in, but sense clearly did not. And boss, because I had to ask for half a day off. I don't remember any of this afterwards. Is the sister someone you connect with post seizure? Also, I've had seizures, got up and babbled senseless things to people. One time a guy laughed at the blabber and I punched him. So senseless
Oh.
messages are better comparatively. Reply is I laughed at mine too. What is the alternative? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I think it's funny looking back on it. Wonder how many times we've actually done it. You're absolutely right. It's extremely funny when I think about it now. The faces of those who you see laugh at these stories are absolutely hilarious. By those, I mean those who haven't had the seizures. And
It's a mixture of horrified and laughter.
And sometimes I Googled things that didn't make any sense and laughed at that later on.
That I've done. That I
Really?
have so many tabs open. I'm like, I don't even know when I looked up this. Like, okay, I can. Let's get an example. Let's go to my tab
Hey, parental controls are there.
and
That's why you make sure it's on that device. You can tell who's been using that browser and yeah, parental controls are a big deal.
yeah, I have no idea who T-Pain is and why he's listening to Mom Jeans.
Hold on, what did you
Yeah.
just say about T-Pain?
I don't know who T-Pain is or why he's listening to Mom Jeans, but that is what's up on my phone.
Um,
Okay, that's some random stuff.
so I got something. Says, had my first seizure a few days ago. I'm terrified what this might mean for my life going forward. I'm a 25-year-old woman and I had my first seizure on Sunday morning. It was a nocturnal. It happened while I was sleeping. So I have no memory of any warning signs. It was a 1 to 2 minute seizure, definitely tonic-clonic, and I have no memory of anything until EMS was awake while it happened. So he witnessed the whole thing. I didn't lose bladder or bowel control, but I did bite the inside of my lower lip. All the tests were ran at the hospital, came up normal. EEG, CT, MRI, blood tests show no vitamin deficiencies or infections that would contribute to a seizure. All in all, I'm in good health, and the fact that the fact that I had a seizure seems incredibly random. People of this subreddit, in your experience, how likely is it for someone to just randomly have a single seizure like this and then never again? The doctor made it sound like this might be the case for me, but I don't want to hold out on false hope if it's unlikely to be my only incident. Do the in quote normal test results mean I definitely don't have epilepsy, or is it possible that I still have it and just it didn't present itself once I was in stable condition? I feel like I'm in denial and I'm trying to come to terms with things I don't even know for sure. I'm seeing a neurologist tomorrow, so I hope more questions will be answered. It's been hard for me to go to sleep. I'm scared of it happening again. Any advice or words of encouragement would be appreciated. The main questions in here were, what's that mean for their life? Um, how likely is something randomly a seizure? Is this supposed to happen never again?
I would suggest start getting everything recorded this early in diagnosis. It sounds like they're not taking any medication, but definitely had a seizure documented and definitely want to catch it early, pick up on any others that you might have, even if it doesn't feel like a seizure. So if there's not somebody around 24/7, then get those cameras up, put the effort in early to actually determine if this was a one-time thing and you can be a miracle for the rest of the world. So yeah, one-time seizure. I hope so. Andrea,
But
the
you
question
believe
was,
so.
yeah, go ahead.
Do you believe so? Not whether you hope so.
I want to believe. I want to believe that I'm not going to have another seizure, and it just doesn't always pan out like that. But you
I
can
want to
hope
believe
and
I'm going to win the lottery next week.
right.
That's a good comparison. You could
Yeah,
believe that you're actually only having a seizure because you prove it to yourself. Like you only had that one time thing because that can be proven, you
yeah.
know, for the most part. But the lottery, on the other hand, no, not until I actually like have the
Same
cash in my
odds.
hand. I don't even trust the bank account.
Same odds? No.
Listen, I don't know anything except what you guys taught me, and it's the same odds.
Andrea, how
Yeah,
Does
you
that's one
doing?
time.
anybody know?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
Good, good. Um, the icebreaker was three things you could bring with you. Um,
Three
and
things to put in a time capsule for people 100 years from now.
there we go.
I have no idea.
I know this got deep for us too, right? Like, do you go with people or like something that 100 years from now could actually like help them sustain, or just something like really cool, favorite book? Who did?
Oh, okay. You meant put something for someone else, not for me.
You're
Hmm.
not
Oh,
going to be
that's a way to
alive in
think of
100
it.
years.
I thought
Okay,
it
Yeah,
I
was
have to
like I
say,
was going in the capsule too. I thought that, I thought that was the plan.
I have to say
so
one
that's
thing
why
from
you were bringing people too. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing people. I mean, I'm not sending those people without me.
if you were going in a time capsule, I'm surprised you picked Tom Brady and not like some hot chick.
uh, yeah.
Okay, so you can look at the time capsule question either way. You're going along with or three items, and I pictured three items in a time capsule as like some little treasure chest that they dig up like 100 years from now for something.
That's kind of how I looked at it.
Okay, so
But
yeah, I went with some really random stuff. Oh, you know what though? You'd be happy to hear I said a can of Monster
Some,
and
some,
this little creature.
and Stitch,
Yeah, yeah, I like that Stitch character.
probably some herbal medication. That's what they need. They need some herbal medication.
See, but would it really be effective 100 years from now? I already invested in some probably bullshit like herb guard thing to keep my stash like fresh. So I don't know if it'd be worth like useful 100 years from now.
I think I'll be the least helpful. I might send something funny.
If I were
I
gonna
can't
pick
imagine
weed
what.
seeds, it would be weed seeds.
Okay, so condoms, what?
Vaseline. No, I'm just kidding.
Could be one of those days, huh?
um,
No, most hilarious. Somebody should send sex toys and see what they even think it is.
I mean, I'm just saying, like in general, like yeah, just a little prank. It's gonna be very unuseful at that time, but
I'd send a singular Lego brick, like the head of one of the little minifigures.
One little
that's like,
Lego man head
Yeah.
and some cannabis seeds.
Uh-huh.
Really high quality ones.
mm,
Light up shoes. There we go.
The batteries would be dead in 100 years.
Wait, who's dead?
The
batteries on
batteries would be.
shoes.
Oh, they still kind of look like a monster. I don't know. They would fit something. I don't know why shoes is such a big thing for me. Like comfortable shoes, it really can like make a big
Yeah, I can
difference.
imagine it now. And they'd still know that they're light because I'm guessing they at least still have the technological advancements that we have. So they know that it's lights, even if they don't light up. They're like, this was the previous flashlight.
Okay, back to questions.
The question I had here was, it was just asking, is it likely that the person have a seizure and then not have another one? You can hope, hold your breath. I mean, don't hold your breath, but you can hope and wish that it's just a single situation and it never happens again.
Aren't
Personally, I
most
think,
seizures like that the first time?
yeah. 2 days later, I had another one, so I was just hoping and wishing that it didn't happen again.
I made it almost 6 months.
Mm. I made it
Oh,
4 months and a week.
I'm 10 days.
I'm 4 months and 11 days.
I don't have a clue because I don't watch and count.
I
2 days.
do just to see how many I'm having a year and when.
The only reason I know is because I had a therapy appointment today.
Oh, it's all logged somewhere. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. It was several months ago since I had a tonic clonic, and I think my last focal was the beginning of September or something like that.
Nice.
Wait, you
Scottbury's
said
doing
you had
good.
a said you had a focal in September?
The very beginning of September, I think.
I think 3 months is a success. If I can go 3 months without anything major, then you have a chance of getting it down to like 3 in a year, and that's the goal for me. Three tonic-clonics or less in a year.
What are you at now?
I should know. Let me count it.
I'm at 3, so I'm hoping to be there for the rest of the year. And yeah.
I don't know how many I'm up to. I had that cluster like a month and a half ago. So that kind of jumped my numbers.
Mine are completely random.
Do you have the number wrote down of how many, like, so far this year?
Liz has it somewhere. I don't keep track of anything because I forget.
Okay, you're lucky. You got 2 fingers up so far. Only 2 this year.
Yep, I'm all the way back to June.
Okay.
That's great.
My last tonic
Oh,
clonic
fuck, never
was
mind.
10 days
July
ago.
was bad.
There's a few comments here. One says, yeah, that would scare the hell out of anyone. The fact that everything came back normal kind of points to one off thing. So try and hold on to that until you see a neuro. What happened after you guys' first seizure? Did they point it out to you that you might have epilepsy?
No.
Drugs. So started, gave a bunch of business cards for programs and get her tested and don't trust and don't believe and blah blah. But that's
Told me I had a stroke.
stuff.
I
Started the
had
meds
you
though.
imagine it.
Started the
You
meds right away,
get a
but still
grip on
suggested
yourself.
other causes.
Say that again, Toaster. I didn't hear you.
I had you're imagining it, get a grip on yourself. When I first started having seizures.
Get some rest, and whatever goes wrong is your fault.
Yep. Why are you so spacey? Stop doing that.
I'm
Pay
sorry to hear that.
attention.
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Then after I got diagnosed, it was kind of like, oh, everything makes sense.
But don't you find it hilarious when the loved ones have to like recant or say I was wrong about something and don't?
Well, now it's they know, and so they tease me about other things.
Say that again?
They tease me about other things. We can't give you more than one instruction at once. You'll forget. Which is true.
Right.
And I don't mind. It's loving teasing. I'm not complaining. It's just there's a difference between complaining and fetching.
And that's a beautiful family dynamic when you can actually not cross the line.
Yeah. And
somebody else here is saying trying to let go of resentment. Why is it so hard? The context isn't really all that important. Family has never made an effort to educate themselves on the disease, which ironically happens to be genetic. Advice appreciated. So if the family isn't educating themselves on epilepsy, you know yours is genetic. You can't make them want to, but you can at least provide the information, save a bookmark on the toolbar or just leave a little brochure on the counter. Use these great family gathering times to bring up a topic, something encouraging that might not make them uncomfortable, but still give some useful information.
Yeah, like you said. Yeah, like
and talk about it like it's everyday life, as it is. Oh,
wait, say that again?
I interrupted you.
I didn't hear you, though, so go ahead.
I said, and talk about it like it's everyday life, because it is.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of what I was thinking of now.
As everyone says, hey, how are you? Take that opportunity to say, I am tired. My medicines are kicking my butt today.
That's what I was thinking.
Medicines.
Um, oh my goodness, I lost it again. Oh, when you said like leave some pamphlets around or whatever, that's a helpful way of just saying like here's the information, so you can at least say I tried. I didn't exactly hand it to you, but it's there. You might have walked past it, or you might have seen it. Maybe at least you can say you tried.
And picking some creative headline piece of like epilepsy isn't the end, so something encouraging that, might actually intrigue somebody who's obviously not educating themselves because ignorance is bliss. So, favorite comment. The resentment is only hurting you much more than their actions. Deep box breathing, meditation, and therapy are all practices that can help, with therapy the best route, but resentment will destroy you. That was one of our own who typed it.
Box breathing. Learned that from Raven. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, breathe in for 4. Basically, it's a box.
Mm.
My head was telling me to keep up with you, and I was trying. Then you were just like saying the next one like right after. It was like that's out 4 seconds, but yeah,
I didn't count the seconds, sorry.
yeah. That's when I noticed. So she's not talking to me.
BBT was suggested here. Other people saying that they've been through similar things, they know how it hurts. Time usually helps. Saying don't take it personal. So yeah, I guess honing in on the resentment part. Don't let those like that frustration get to you. Maybe get a pet.
Kitty.
You said get a pet.
Andrea's kitten
Jake
came
says
on screen at the right time. That reminded me too. But yeah, no, I think a pet would be a good idea if you feel overwhelmed by some thing that is, causing any tension, stirring up any hate, and anything that is just like a negativity you can't escape from. Animals can help with that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you just lay down, please?
I have a post here. It says, "Does anyone have pulsing auras? We already have to cope with medication in the aftermath of a breakthrough seizure, but I was wondering how many of us have pulsing auras. When I say pulsing, I mean either a leg or an arm feels like someone is tapping or gripping. Then a first wave of all I can explain it as is tactile energy running down and the tips of my toes or fingers through your nerves, and it doesn't it does that for a few hours over and over. I have Jacksonian seizures that affect my right, and if I wake up too early, my arm pulses like a possible seizure imminent. If I go to an indoor concert with too many bass, I get those pulses. If I'm in a situation with people I'm not fully comfortable in or just want to leave, I get pulses. These pulses are almost like an inner baby yelling whenever I'm not just staying at home all day. I take 4 meds for epilepsy specifically, and I haven't had a breakthrough seizure in probably 9 months, but these auras are almost worse. The apprehension of having a seizure is so rough. I've been on this epilepsy train for over 20 years since I was 12, so I am used to it, but I am alone in the experience to date. In my experience to date. And I'm so sorry that you're alone. I don't have pulsing auras. Um, is feeling your heartbeat pulsing? That would kind of be right.
I looked it up and it looks like the medical definition they're calling is tingling or numbness that spreads. And then this person described it as like a tapping.
I could say my pulse goes up, and I maybe, because mine was similar to panic attack with the impending doom and such things. I don't know if that would be a pulsing aura, if they meant like vibrating or.
They're talking like a crawling feeling. They compare it to the sensation of ants crawling on your skin. Like that's what gets that Jacksonian diagnosis.
One of the comments here is I get, in quote, Jacksonian seizures too, currently on 3 meds plus 1 rescue med after 6 different meds or something. Since I'm allergic to keppra-dilantin and oxycarbazepine, I get most of my myoclonics and focals. Since 2018, my, in quote, diagnosis and mine start just the way you described them. I could I could be minding my own business and then a jerk would come on. LOL. I do get those, like the random jerk, like I'm doing something and minding my business, but I wouldn't say that was Jacksonian. I get like those small jerks. But the B12, I can feel it kicking in because I'm getting less and less.
Shout out.
But after stop taking it and when I was in the hospital for the stroke, yeah, it was a lot of them getting back on the B12. It was a lot of them happening, but it's getting to less and less each day. Eventually, it's going to be 0 again. Um, yeah, that's the hope.
So that's more proof that it is an important part of your treatment plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Because without it, I'm noticing the more and more. And I noticed they went away when I first started taking them. So I say, if you're going to take B12, don't just stop taking it randomly. You gotta keep taking it. Or else those same urges come back and those same tweaks that I get. Another comment to this, does anyone have pulsing auras? It says, in quote, auras or focal seizures, but focal seizures present differently depending on where in the brain and they start and can present in many ways, muscle, nerve pulsing included. And if you're on medication for tonic-clonics or full seizures associated with you, it is quite possible to still have the warnings of those seizures since they are focal seizures that happen in one side of the brain in specific spots, but can spread anticonvulsants, help them not to spread to the other side of the brain to cause a full seizure, and all you feel is an aura. Many of us here, including me, have our TC and other, end quote, full seizures under control, but still fighting to get our focals under control. It will take a while to be split the association. I haven't had a focal in a very long time. Can't even remember the last time. I think it was in April.
Got one about from somebody that's still in the workforce saying, should I go home? Just had a focal aware seizure at work. Now I have a pounding headache in my right eye and just feel weak and disassociated. Should I go home? I can probably get through my
Yes.
shift fine, but it is busy. I work at a coffee shop. Standing, I was standing, and the right side of my face and right thigh started twitching, and my coordination and reflexes became terrible. I was also confused, disoriented, disassociated. Nobody noticed it. Go home. Coffee
Go
shop, you're
home.
working around things that could do some damage, so definitely go home.
Hot boiling things, steamers, hot coffee, go home.
Yeah, making it through
Actually,
the shift is not a risk worth taking.
get an Uber, call a family member, get home. Don't drive.
Some of the comments are even telling her to go to the hospital. Maybe not a hospital trip, but
Think,
not safe to be at work.
or yeah, definitely when safe to be at work. Cookie can attest to working with seizures with his fryer story at the donut shop. Um,
No.
It looks like they
it's
came to the conclusion of let the boss know, saying, I'll let the boss know. Thank you guys. And that was the last that I know.
I let the boss
Update.
know during the interview, but I had already had the job right by then. We were talking about, you have the job, we're going to do this, this, and this, and get you here started next week. And I was just like, by the way, I have epilepsy. So,
what
yeah.
was the reaction? Just because of curiosity.
He was like, oh, okay. I don't think he knew what it was. He thought I don't know what he thought it was, but yeah, he didn't, looked confused for like 3, 4 seconds maybe. and then it just went away and was disregarded ever again.
Until
Never
you
brought
stuck
up.
your hand in the fryer.
Um, I think there was one seizure before that where it might have been brought up. But I think that was just like standing in place. I was in the back. But after the fryer, I tried to go back the next day. And they never told me I couldn't. It just happened. And then I went to see what's called workers' comp. And then I had one day off because it was my natural day off. And when I went back, they're just like, yeah, you got to get a doctor's note. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, you got to get a doctor's note before you come back. It's like, oh, this sucks. And I called and I was like, I can't get a doctor until this month or that month. And they're just like, well, we're going to have to put you on leave until you can do all that. So then I just got another job and then had another seizure on that job. And that was my life then.
That sounds like being belittled. I noticed the OP did give an update. I told my manager, and she said I looked fine enough to work and that she doesn't feel good half the time. So she disregarded what I told her. I went to the store director. He told me to go home. I can't believe the manager would belittle me like that. I'm home now, though.
Wow.
Oh, that was really smart to go next level up. If obviously whoever's talking to you is not seeing the facts or hearing what you're saying, then that was really smart to go to the director when the manager didn't listen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hope this OP is listening.
I've had seizures at other jobs where I was a cashier that day, and I had a seizure, and then they just asked me, "Do you want to stay?" And I was just like, "Sure." Finish the shift and continue to get money. At that time, I needed money, so I was like, "Yeah, why not? Let's keep going." And me not paying attention to my health, or I don't even think I was. Yeah, I don't think I was paying much attention to my health. I was like, "Okay, let's." I'm a single father at this point. Let's make it happen. And yeah, I've seen people leave for a bad finger, a hurt finger, or a thumb or something, and they asked me would I stay after a seizure. After having a seizure at the register while being cashier, I went back to being cashier for 3 more hours. Yeah, man, good times.
I'm thinking you're counting change, you're having to do stuff like that post-ictal. That's a little too much. Some jobs would be easier than others, but if you're having just a day of clusters or a lot of focals or even just feeling like one might come on, staying on the job is just never the best way to do it. We do for as long as we can, though.
Yeah, and that was another job that didn't exactly tell me I was fired. They were just like, they didn't tell me to go see a doctor, but they put me like on the calendar to work. And there was a day that I didn't work. And then some of the people at work were like, "You're not on the calendar." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm looking at the online one and it says I'm on the calendar." I went up there and that's when they told me, "You are fired. You've had too many seizures at the cash register." And I was like, that's why everybody was like, "You're not on the calendar." And I was like, but online it says I'm on the calendar. And yeah, I went there and they pointed it out. Sorry, man, it's been too much. Too many of these seizures at the register. I tried to talk to him, and just be like, well, I could go back to moving stuff in the back. You guys used to have me in the back, like moving stuff around. And I guess at that time they didn't need anyone in the back to move anything around. So just lost that job. And I decided to get another job. And yeah, until my family decided to say that was it for you. Do got something else here? It says anyone gets longer seizures or aura issues, aura continua. So I found a post from just one person here 2 months ago that I don't think is active anymore, but I had many comments, so I thought I'd give it a try myself. I have unusual long episodes up to an hour and even a full day with minor changes in intensity, and they're completely unsensory, left side body heavy, weak, numb, heavy, weak sensation with no real weakness or numbness, more like subjective. Doctor said it's possible the epilepsy, and I also read about something called aura continua, which is focal seizures that last long. Sometimes also focal status that doesn't hurt the brain, as the status epilepticus does. They started 3 months ago, almost daily, even multiple times a day. I did all tests you can imagine and excluded 20 plus diseases by now. Did anyone experience similar seizures, at least in length, if not the symptom? And what is your experience? I've had seizures that lasted for maybe 2 or 3 hours. Um, and it was like on the podcast, and there was like 2 hours left. And I was just like, okay, we can do this. And then I don't know if some of you guys haven't. Oh no, it'd be Andrea. You haven't met Sailor Mom. She was there and she just like took over, and I was like, okay, good. And then like every 5 to 10 minutes, she'd be like, "Are you okay?" And then I'd come back, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay," and I'm laughing and smiling and doing stuff that made no sense. Like when it would be my turn, I show her pictures of face masks and costumes and stuff, and when I went back and edit the video, I was just like, wow, I'm doing stuff that makes a lot of no sense. Like during it, I'm just like, here, look at this mask right here. And she's like, is that a person's real face? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's a mask of something. It just, but every time she like comes back and like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And I laugh because I'm not okay, but I'm laughing at myself because, yeah, over and over. And then I was just like, yeah, I gotta go. I was like, I can't do it. I'm trying. And yes, second episode, I think, maybe third. And yeah,
But you got
didn't
great
rem-
footage in the meantime.
I didn't remember the day in particular, because when I found that one and I was editing through videos, I'm like, I don't remember this day. But I was just like, let me just edit it as the day it says it was, in the order it says it is. And I was just like, all right, well, yeah, I guess I don't remember this, and just kept going. Anybody get long auras?
Not really.
I never had auras, but long seizures happened, and that was so it's just what prompted if it was more than 5 minutes, then before Nasalam, it was a ER visit and a really long, tiring ordeal. So yeah, long seizures suck because you feel worse, and usually the consequences are a lot more time consuming, and like the last thing you can do is just crash. That's what I always wanted to do after a long seizure.
Yeah, that was also the another question. I only read the auras, but it says anyone gets longer seizures. Basically, like they're asking if we get clusters, and have you had any similar experience? One of the comments here says, "Yes, I've had this. It is like when you have nausea and you just want to throw up to be better. I would I would have ongoing focal seizures for hours and just want to finally turn into a full tonic-clonic seizure just to feel better." Yes, been there.
I really don't know if that's what happens to me just because I didn't have cameras and I've been alone so many times for my tonic-clonics. So I have no idea what I do.
I do have another comment here. Yeah, when you said you don't know what you do, it just makes me think of like the times that I just like wandered around and stuff. Like I, I always wondered, what did I do just those times that I blanked out and came back in a different place? Like, what was I doing on the way there?
Right. I have no idea. I showed up to my new neurologist and they're like asking me all these questions. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I'm sorry, I can't answer any of these questions for you, but I have no idea because I am unconscious and I don't remember anything and I'm home alone.
Have you had a feeling that you had a seizure?
Oh yeah, I mean, like if I have a tonic-clonic, I know because I'm like want to die and I feel like I want to puke and I like my last one, I have no idea how long it lasted or what, but I know I spent like a day or day and a half in bed afterwards. But I have no idea.
Yeah. Hey, James. I did see you there. I think I was reading at that time.
Hi James, how you doing?
I'm gonna read this.
Hey guys.
Hey, I seen your message. You said you weren't feeling so hot. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it was a few days ago, Wednesday. That I don't know if y'all want to hear this shit or not, but
Go ahead. Nice haircut.
well, I've had it for a while. I always have my hat on. I actually don't have a hat right now. Yeah, and this morning got even crazier, but yeah, I went last Wednesday. Got home from work in the evening. I was just, I don't know if it was the meds, my pancreas, dizziness, whatever, but I just basically spent like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday just throwing up anything I would try and, try and stay hydrated, obviously, try and keep my meds down. Nothing was staying down. So I just, yeah, kept, kept throwing up just over and over and over and over and over. And yeah, since I couldn't keep my meds down for, couple of days or so, ended up having a seizure, and then that was thankfully I was already in bed. It was the middle of the night, so obviously we all know you get sore, you have different muscles that hurt and everything from it, but thankfully I was already laying down and in my bed from that. So it's been, yeah, couple of weird days just getting over that. But started feeling better the last couple of days. Got a good bike ride in yesterday and this morning as well. So I'm doing better. I'm able to keep food down and everything. So kind of gotten back to my normal, if you can even call it that, normal self. So yeah,
Baseline.
little bit, yeah, this life exactly, or as normal as you can get for somebody that has like the epilepsy that we do. So yeah, just hanging in there. It's good to see you guys again and everything, and yeah.
Glad to have you.
Proud to know you. Somebody who can go on a bike ride the day after a tonic-clonic? That's some superhero shit. And you went on another bike ride this morning? No, I
I
hope
can
I
tell
would.
you some even crazier ones too, but yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything, but yeah.
So since you, I think you said it was since Wednesday, how many seizures have you had?
Just that one. Um, my my
And
body's
then
not
you,
too crazy. It kind of keeps it in check. But I mean, obviously, still one is more
yeah, I'm
more
with
than
Kate.
anybody
I'm
should
like,
have,
you rode
right?
a bike.
But what
Um,
was that? Sorry.
I said I'm there with Kate. I'm like, you rode a bike after that? I'm gonna take a few days off just to recuperate, and yeah, a bike isn't happening.
I mean, yeah, I still had a couple of days of rest, in there. It's just that's my only way of getting around, running errands. It's my hobby. Um, I don't know. To me, that's just normal. So I don't know what else to. I don't know what else to do. My only other option would just be sitting here, laying down in bed or in my chair here watching random shit on YouTube, and that gets old real quick, as I'm sure you all know, right? I mean, it's yeah, that gets old quickly. So
I think we all have some one-track minds after a seizure. Post-ictal, I know I'm very like tunnel vision type. This is what I want, and I don't see any reason not to. And
I'm
that's maybe not post-ictal, but just like days after a seizure, even when you don't feel good.
yeah, and I'm pretty lucky too. Like very very close to my house. I have um, it's called the a creek trail. I don't know what else. It's just yeah, it's called the Alameda Creek Trail. Um, so it's a very long Pookie knows since he was close, but it's a very long like bicycle path.
Yes.
Um, so you can hop on it. You don't have to worry about cars around you or
Traffic.
stoplight, yeah, traffic, anything like that. You can just hop on it, just ride your bike, keep safe and everything. So that makes it a little bit nicer too. It's just you just kind of hop on, just keep your eyes a little bit in front of you, watch out for whatever, and you're good to go. It's not having to watch out for stoplights and pedestrians and
You
cars and
can,
all the other BS that you would know on like a like a busy traffic street or something. So that does make it a little bit easier too for me. But
you're on a trail in a suit.
I mean, yeah, that's how I dress.
I'm just imagine seeing somebody. I'd be like, whoa, man.
I
See
want to get
that
a
guy?
drone out there now.
I do get funny looks. People are, and I get asked like regularly, like, oh, what are you dressed up for? And I'm like, I left my house. What do you mean?
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, vest, the pocket watch, everything. I mean, it's just, yeah,
I didn't even have to ask. I knew that much.
it's just normal to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
You kind of just blew by what you were saying. Yeah, you were saying, yeah, that's only one part of the story. Um, Care to elaborate?
oh,
Kate was talking
yeah,
about you riding a bike, and you were like, yeah, that's only one part.
oh, just just random. I don't know, random shit having to stop at different places, and then this morning too, woke up and then I was just like, oh shit, it's Tuesday. Need to make sure I have my tablet charged. But then the power kept going out like
Mm.
multiple times this morning, so it took forever for the tablet to charge, and then I couldn't shower because the power was out, and just like a bunch of other stuff. The power kept going on and off, and finally it's been on for a couple of hours now. But it was interesting trying to just get random chores and stuff done this morning too. On top of just everything the last few days, but I think I'm pretty much back to normal. I've been able to keep my meds down for a couple of days now. I've been able to eat, keep hydrated. So I think I'm back to normal. I think I'm back to normal,
Okay.
or I hope. Or that's what I hope. That's what I hope at least.
I hope you're back to normal too.
Yeah, thank you
Um,
guys.
I got a post here. It says, how do I tell girls that I have epilepsy? 20-year-old male from the UK diagnosed at 19 following heat stroke. No photosensitivity, clear EEG and MRI. Seizures only occur in evenings and nights. I had a seizure last night, but it's controlled as long as I don't push the boundaries. I went out of I went out to 2 bars last night, and every weekend or 3 weeks, and drank 3 to 4 units of alcohol each time, and didn't sleep until 2 a.m. and the sleep was terrible. I've never had a girlfriend, but I've been getting some opportunities recently, and I don't know how to tell them. I want to say something like, in quote, I had a heat stroke last year, and I take medication because of some of the side effects that cause such as falling unconscious. Does anyone here have any advice? I understand that the majority of girls are looking for perfect men at my age, but you're a 20-year-old male, you're in the UK. Um,
And girls over there expect you to be perfect. Don't be hard on yourself, man. It can't be that bad.
yeah, you're in the club. I mean, yeah, going out to a bar 3 times a week. Yeah, you're living a good life. I don't know. I've never had girls like against the epilepsy, and
Lower
that's
your
interesting.
expectations for yourself.
Yeah, it's yeah. I've never had anyone say anything like bad about the epilepsy, or most people um don't know what it is, and I usually have to explain it myself. But
And again, if he's got the epilepsy and he's drinking that much, I looked up a unit and it's 10 milliliters or 8 grams of alcohol, which is what they're saying around the amount that an adult can process in an hour. So they're having 3 or 4 of those Saturday and Sunday. Maybe you'd be more comfortable getting in the game once you really know you're doing the best you can to control the epilepsy. If you do make the decision to tell the girl you're having seizures or you've had seizures, this is why you take your meds. You want to have some kind of follow-up of like what you're doing to control that or why it's not anything to get hung up on for her. So, I don't know. Maybe you're not having a hard time meeting girls. It could just be you're not controlling your epilepsy well enough to feel comfortable to tell them.
If you're not comfortable with yourself, they're not going to be comfortable either.
there you go.
There's the wisdom.
And I
Yeah,
was gonna add in too. I know I'm obviously we've had other talks. I know I'm the worst to be saying this, but yeah, it seems like you need to clamp down on the drinking there a little bit, and that would help out with probably the epilepsy and the awkward situations maybe with the females as well. Um, but yeah, it's not something that I always would tell people, instantly. You want to make sure that you kind of have a good, I don't know what the right word is, like a good solid ground with the person first, and then maybe tell them. Um, the the only people I've dated since I've had, my up or had it since I've gotten divorced and everything. I already kind of knew them in the past, like they were like old friends type of situation of dating them. So they kind of already knew, so it wasn't a huge deal. So I don't really have any true experience of breaking the news to somebody, so to speak with it. So yeah, I don't have full uh examples or anything to give for that, but I would say that yeah, most people aren't going to be very
right.
receptive to just having it, thrown like, the first date or something. I wouldn't do that
Well,
for
not only
sure.
that, I mean, you're setting the tone for how important it is. If you throw it out there like that, then it kind of makes it a priority, like you said. I mean, you want to start on solid ground, so getting to know each other is totally understandable. But if you started as, hi, my name is, and I have epilepsy, like that's kind of setting the tone for this condition being a priority of who you are and like your life in general. So I would say don't even bring it up until you get to know them. See if it just kind of casually comes up in conversation, what you got going on this week. Oh, I have an appointment over in, wherever, because I still go to a neurologist every now and then. I was diagnosed, whatever, with epilepsy, got it under control, and this is just how I still take care of it to get prescriptions. And, if you throw it out there like that, maybe that would be easier.
Yeah, it seems almost like if it goes, if it goes slower, you slowly introduce it to them, or maybe you have one during the time that you're, getting to know each other and you're dating and something. It might be they might have a little bit more, they might be a little bit more sympathetic to it. Whereas if you just go out there, like I mean, epilepsy is, it's a medical condition. Like you wouldn't like I know this is like over dramatic, but I'm just doing it to make a point. But like the first time you meet somebody, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I have herpes. Nice to meet you." Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, I know that's why I was saying I was being over dramatic. But like, certain health things, like you don't just automatically just go out of the way, and that's like the first thing you say is you're introducing yourself. So there's no reason to do that with epilepsy. Either get to know the person, see what's going on. Because for some people, I mean, it really could be they could be just be like, I don't know what the fuck this is, or anything about it. I don't want to deal with it. Like we're done. Like, and you could kill the relationship. But if you slowly get into it and you get to know the person, they get feelings for you, they're sympathetic towards it, then you might be able to work the relationship out. In the long run, it could be
Especially if you
somebody
spent
that,
time together and never had a seizure.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Or you could go, the first year of dating that person, never have one, and it could be a nothing issue. So every situation, everybody's body is different, as we've talked about a million times. So I would I would just kind of, yeah, pull back and keep it in and slowly introduce that medical condition to that person when you're dating them.
Me, I kind of, I wouldn't say lead with that, but I make sure that specifically is known, like in our first day of talking. Like it wouldn't be the first thing, but I'd eventually throw in there, you know what epilepsy is? And that usually helps lead into that conversation. Just like, you ever heard of epilepsy? And then some of them are like, yeah, some of them are like, no. Then even the ones who say yeah, or the ones who don't know anything about it, but they heard it was on a movie or something. So yeah, usually it's no one knows anything about it and you got to tell somebody about it. Actually, I have met a couple of social workers who did know something about it, people who had met people or worked with people who were going through mental health things, and they knew a little bit about it. But other than that, usually it's teaching people. It's a teaching process. The next 10 questions are about epilepsy.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
that's more
another.
with girls, because I think guys are way easier to tell you have epilepsy, and then they're just like, oh, okay, no more questions. Especially if they don't know anything about it. I think guys are way less likely to get curious all of a sudden and start learning from you right after you meet. And yeah, there's definitely a different dynamic there. Andrea gets that vibe.
Well, guys are thinking with
About that?
their other head when you're first meeting
Bro,
somebody.
come
So
on. You're the one who just said keep it in.
Yeah, you're the one. I mean, it's for a guy, it's like, all right, well, you have
especially
seizures.
if you don't know about it, you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go along with this. I'm totally into this chick. I'm gonna just
As
do
long
whatever.
as you're not having seizures, it's like, all right, then she has seizures, she has epilepsy, and it doesn't
Uh,
bother me. I
I was
mean,
gonna say
not
another
with
thing
me.
too is,
With certain people, they're like, that doesn't bother me. I can get through it until they see it. Then they'll even like, oh yeah, I can't deal with that, or it's
yeah.
traumatizing. In the beginning, just conversation, and she's pretty. I can imagine someone just ignoring you. Oh yeah, she has epilepsy. It's all right. We don't live
I,
together.
I was gonna say another thing too is, like we've talked about, most people, like, they don't know about epilepsy. The only thing they know is like the stereotype. Like what you see like in a TV show or a movie, like somebody has epilepsy, or somebody has a seizure, and then they just have, the full grand mal, their body's flopping around like that. That's what they think. They don't understand the side effects, the medications, the other things that go along with it. So even if they do know a tiny little bit about it, usually it's just that, and they're just like, oh, okay, it's something that happens for like 30 seconds, and then they regain consciousness, and then we're back to our date night, or like something like that. You know what I mean? Like
they don't understand like the I need time to bounce back period.
exactly, yeah. Like everything is sore afterwards, or it takes a day to kind of get your brain out of the fog, or different, all the different side effects that we all, everybody has.
I can imagine another guy just thinking, for you women in particular, just like, you all right? And you're like, yeah, I'm all right. It's just a seizure. Then they're just like, all right, well.
But that's when you can tell the difference in somebody who actually heard you say epilepsy and like it meant something, and the ones who really did just kind of not have any questions about it, because then you yawn or kind of look out the window, and he's like, okay, do you need to go home? You okay?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, then they get worked up really easily because they don't know what the fuck is wrong with you.
I
And
can't
that's
tell
what
you
they
how
heard.
many times I told Andrew, I'm fine. You don't need to come home from work. He's like, yeah, I'm coming home. And he came home and spent the rest of the day at the house, even though nothing happened, just because I told him I had a.
That's sweet.
I can say for a girl, for like a girl having a seizure and a guy having a seizure is different. Like I could say me having a seizure, that person's gonna be like, you all right? You sure? And a woman's gonna keep asking, are you all right? And a guy is gonna be like, you good? You sure? All right, let's go about the day. A girl is gonna be much different for us. She's gonna keep asking to be all right and be like, yeah, I'm all right. And then she's gonna keep asking.
Till you
And
get pissed off.
Nope,
yeah.
that's when you have to decide, okay, do I tell this guy that I'm not going to remember like any of the next 2 hours tomorrow? And obviously that's not something you want to bring up if, yeah,
I was gonna
no,
say, depending on the guy, you might not want to say that,
exactly.
Get
unless you know
pissed
him
off
pretty
if you
well.
don't remember. But then they're mad if
That's
you
when
don't.
that's when timing is everything. You guys talk about the night the next day or a couple days later or whatever, and put two and two together that you don't remember anything. Does he take it personal? Or does he choose that time to ask a question about it? Listen out,
It
ask the
might
right
be
question.
personal.
That's a good test. I mean, there's another post here saying that, oh, never mind, it was the wrong one. I saw something about like how can you turn epilepsy into a positive? Something about what's the positive of epilepsy. And yeah, I mean, if you guys can ever manage to use those situations to say you learned something or say that something good came out of it.
Yeah.
Awesome too.
When it comes to dating, I have kids, so I lead with that. If you can get past me having kids, then I throw out their epilepsy. And then if you can get past that, then usually it's all good from there. But if you can get past kids and then you can get past me having epilepsy, perfect. But if you can't, then we can't go further because this isn't
Plenty
things
of
I
us
can
got to
just
get
get rid
past the
of.
not driving or working too.
I got a
Mm.
whole lot of shit.
Uh,
See, from
I'm
30s to yeah. And that's exactly what we're prepping for.
yeah, but I'm almost 50, so there's a difference.
yeah, usually I lead with the red flags, and it usually works. Epilepsy usually isn't the biggest deal. Like I said, people usually don't understand what it is. And then I think with their thinking, when I say I have seizures, they're thinking, oh, it's just a seizure and he's just going to get right back up and he's going to be okay until they see it. When they see it, then it's a different story.
I would say though, it's probably a bit harder for the person that asked that question, since they said that they're 20. When you're younger, you go out a lot more, you have more options. Once get pushing, 40 or 50 or whatever, and you don't have as many people, I think are, a little more
lot more people are settled down
Yeah, they're
already.
you know they're a lot more sympathetic. You know, they've known a lot of people throughout their lives, different situations, different things like that. Or like for me personally, I don't have many options right now, so I'm more willing to kind of put something aside to you know to get to know a person or something. Whereas, you know, when I was 20, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm done with you. I'm gonna go over and talk to that person 5 feet away, you know, at the bar instead. So
Well,
I
I
think
think,
for them it's probably a tougher situation, whereas, you know, for us higher up in age, we might be a little
well,
bit
and
more
I there's
willing
a
to.
big difference between trying to meet chicks at the bar and actually trying to meet somebody for a real relationship that's going to last for the rest of your life too.
Very,
But
yeah, very true. There's, yeah.
that's something that they're not going to learn for another, several years probably.
Yep.
For for some reason, it's like I'm gonna try not to have a seizure in front of this person. That never works. It's usually like one of the early times, and I like, okay, I'm gonna try to not have a seizure ever with this person, and
No, really, I'm good.
yeah, it's usually
Well, I mean,
like
it's not like you can control it, so yeah, definitely.
I'm getting ready that day, and I'm like, okay, everything's good. All signs are showing I'm gonna have a good day, and it'll be that day that we're not worried about, or that we're going to do something important or something. Um, yeah.
Yeah, when so I mentioned I didn't have the greatest last Wednesday. Um, I woke up and grabbed, you know, my phone's next to me on my nightstand, grabbed my phone and it said 9:49 and I was like, "Oh, fuck." I was like, "I need to hurry up and get ready for work." So I sit there, you know, I wake up and I sit for a sec and I try and stand up and I'm so nauseous. I just start, you know, puking and everything. And then, you know, my mom comes in the room and just asks like, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm not good. And I was like, why are you here? Like, shouldn't you be at work? Like, no, it's 10 o'clock at night. I was like, oh, it's 9:49 p.m., not a.m. Oh shit. Like my mind was just so far out of it. I didn't even, you know, like I had my curtains closed so I didn't see outside. I was just so far out of it. All I did was see the time and thought, for some reason, I had been asleep already for so long. I thought it was the morning. I thought I needed to get ready for work and get going. And then that's when I decided, I was like, okay, yeah, it's probably not the best idea for me to go work around children tomorrow morning. I think I'm going to stay home. So then,
Maybe so.
yeah. So I didn't go to work Thursday. I didn't go work Friday. Took me kind of like, yeah, Saturday, Sunday to kind of recoup, just get my head back into everything. And then, yeah, by Monday, I started eating and, you know, being able to keep liquids down too. And then, yeah, so uh, yesterday was, yeah, when I got, yeah, my ride in. And then, yeah, today too, I was just trying to get myself back up, back going again, back on my feet, be a normal human being again, not just a epileptic zombie.
Some of the comments here from this telling girls about epilepsy. One says, "Hey there, I'm a girl. I'm 36, LOL, who has epilepsy. When I met my now fiance, I took the blunt and honest approach. I let him know I have epilepsy and I'm here for any questions or concerns he may have. I don't think this will work for everyone, but if and when it's your right person, they will be supportive of you and your journey. Sending you good vibes." It's way different talking to a girl. Another comment here says, "I'm a 20-year-old girl with epilepsy, and to be honest, I let it come out and come up naturally. For example, if they ask why I don't drink or why I haven't learned to drive yet, it's an easy to guide the conversation that way. In a first date scenario, in quote, I have epilepsy, so I can't drink as much as others, or in quote, I have epilepsy, so I haven't been allowed to have a license. Depending on if your epilepsy is controlled or not will depend on how easy these conversations go. But to be honest, from my experience, most people, guys at least, are understanding, don't ask too much, and move on to another topic in good time. You be like, all right, well, how was your day? One comment here says, as a woman, I would say it's not something I need to discuss until we are 3+ dates in. The right kind of person will be able to take care of you as long as you do the same. I don't think I wait that many dates in because I want the person to be aware just in case something happens out there. I don't want to wait 3 dates. The first date, I could have a seizure and the person wouldn't know what to do. And you didn't tell me that you did this. Or it's finally that third date and you're like, I'm going to let them know this time. Seizure. You don't make it. Bunch of other comments, and these are mostly girls, and I'm interested in reading a couple more. One says, I'm a girl, but in my experience, it's good to just rip the Band-Aid off when it makes sense to bring it up in conversation. I mention it offhand. Example is if the guy asks if I want to get a drink, I just say, oh, I don't drink. I have epilepsy and alcohol isn't good for that. Generally, there are follow-up questions and I answer them, but usually in the same day, I talk about the weather. How they react is a good way to determine if they're worth dating. Unfortunately, epilepsy is a part of life and that you can't control it. And if your date can't accept that, then likely wouldn't work out, regardless if you told them 1 date in or 3.
And what sucks too is you can't even be like, oh, no, that's fine. I don't drink, but I'll be your designated driver and you can drink. Like you can't even you can't even, you can't even say that to them because obviously we can't drive. So it's just like, yeah. I always felt, younger. Obviously I've said a bunch of times I do drink, but other times when going out when I was younger and first had it and was being a little bit more I don't know, proper about it. I wouldn't drink, and yeah, it was like I couldn't drink, I couldn't drive. It was like, what? I'm just useless in this situation at this age. is what it felt like. I mean, obviously that's not true facts, but that's just what it feels like when you're in your young 20s and going through that. So I understand that feeling for sure.
What year were you diagnosed?
My very first seizure was
What year were
2005.
you diagnosed?
Well, they told me that's what I had, the very first one that I had. So it was April of 2005 was my first one.
Oh, okay. You're a year older than me then. I mean, seizure wise, my seizures diagnosed in 2016. Um, so yeah, going on 20 years, man.
Yeah, it was April of '05. So yeah, a little over 20 now. Because that was my first one. My parents didn't really know what was going on, so they instantly called the paramedics, and then they took me to the ER. And then when I was there, they were like, "Yeah, you had a seizure. You have epilepsy." And they pulled my license and all the other fun stuff that goes along with
Bet
that.
that hurt.
That's been how it's been going, yeah, ever since. I eventually got it back. I got it back one time, after the 6 month period that they have. And then I had another one like a few months later, and then I was just like, yeah, this probably isn't a good idea. I probably shouldn't be driving a car anymore. And then I don't remember exactly when it was, but yeah, about a year after the first one. So sometime in 07, I think, was the last time I drove a car, and the last time I actually legally had a license was 2010, I believe. Yeah, I think early 2010. I just gave up and don't really care anymore. I no longer have a car, so it's like, what's the point?
I still feel like reading these comments for some reason. And I'll read a couple more then. One says, as a girl around your age, I'm 22, I want to reassure you however you tell people, it's not likely to hurt your chances with them at all. I don't think women are looking for a guy with completely clean bill of health. None that I know, at least. And if they are, then they are very weird and should be avoided. They'd be doing you a favor and revealing a nasty truth about themselves by reacting weirdly, to be honest. I think you could just wait until you're comfortable with someone and mention it as it comes up or as it's convenient. The way you explained it makes sense. I know it's scary to be vulnerable about this kind of thing, but I think most women would really appreciate your openness and wouldn't think of you any differently. Wishing you the best of luck. I beg to differ. She's saying most women wouldn't think stuff like that. Yeah. Usually find those are the ones you find. They're like, no, they don't exactly takes you back or whatever the case. I mean, I've heard that. I haven't went through that, but I've heard people just not getting responses after that and stuff. And girls been like, I know it's okay. And I guess they go and they learn what it is and they don't call back.
If that's the case, they're not worth your time.
That doesn't make the situation any easier, though. You eventually realize they're not worth your time, but it's still
eventually wasted time.
It still hurts. It still hurts.
I understand.
Everybody hurts.
Yeah, they seem to be all girls. I'll read one more. I'm also a woman, 36-year-old female, but I met my husband around 11 years ago, and it was pretty straight up when we met. My seizures weren't super under control, and I figured that was an unfair surprise and a shitty end to a date if it happened that way, which I definitely did more than a couple times. I definitely wasn't rejected and then was rejected by other people who weren't interested in dating someone with epilepsy because they didn't understand, or maybe it just wasn't a part of their plan. Whatever, though, I always looked at it as time I didn't waste building a relationship with someone who couldn't possibly share goals with me. Wishing you the best. There is a lot of amazing people out there in this world. I was going to ask you this question, but you couldn't relate, but you could very well tell someone how to deal with it. He was asking, he's 20 also. So he was asking, how do you deal with telling girls you have epilepsy? A lot of girls answered this post and they were just saying, you got to throw it out there and just don't let them waste your time. It's easier for a girl to tell a guy and then a guy just say, okay, it's all right. We'll get past it, stuff like that. But a girl, it's not easy.
I guess it's hard. I don't know how you would do it at 20. I mean, you're dealing with somebody who's not really mature yet, and they're going to change. So you could tell them at 20 that you have epilepsy, and they're going to say, well, gee, it's no big deal. I love you for who you are. But at 32, they may not feel the same way. Or at 40. It's hard. People change. Especially
that can happen with any relationship.
Yeah, but especially at 20.
Yeah. I did it twice.
Right. You don't know what the hell you want.
No, you don't.
Right.
Not
you
at
think
20.
you know everything. You think you know everything in the world, but you don't know shit.
No, you don't know shit.
Right.
You don't have a fucking clue what you want until you're about at least 35.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But but the point is, you throw it out there and see what happens. But still, you know,
Yeah, gotta let them know. Throw it
let
out
them
there.
know. But still, it's not going to mean anything.
Right.
it may not. There are some people
Right.
out there that meet their soulmate in high school and go on to live forever together. But that is
Oh, yeah, sure.
extremely rare,
Yeah.
These days, it is. It's very rare, and especially people change.
especially picking up people in a bar. You're not going to
Yeah.
meet,
Well,
I'm sorry, but you're not going to pick up your soulmate in a bar unless you're just destined to go be alcoholics. I'm sorry.
Right.
well, there's a possibility.
That is a possibility, but I wouldn't say it's going to lead to a very happy relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met people. I mean, not in the bar. I've met people who um who met people in bars and had kids. Um, I'd say so far they're doing well, but yeah, they're like 3 or 4 years in, I think. 2 years without a kid, 2 years with. They're
Can
doing all
happen.
right, but
It can
yeah,
happen, but the most of the people that you meet in a bar are going to be like a one night stand or some like 6 month long relationship or something, maybe.
Right.
yeah, yeah. Because that night in particular, it was we were like, okay, we're gonna go meet some girls,
Right.
and now they have kids and they're in a good relationship. But that night in particular, we were not there to find someone to be with for the
No,
rest of
he
our
was out to
lives.
get laid. He was out to
Listen,
Yeah,
get laid.
I wasn't going to say it, but Angie's right. The guys are looking to get laid, and the girls are looking for somebody, you know, to spend their lives with, or at least the next
They're
couple of years. And
sometimes
they're
they're just
also
out looking to get laid
looking to get
too.
laid. Right. I was going to, that was my next thing. Some of them are also looking to get laid. So that's why it works so well.
A lot of the girls hanging out in the bars are looking to get laid too.
Right. Exactly.
Some of
It
them are just
wasn't
looking to go get hammered because they had a shitty day and want to be
right.
left the fuck alone. But some of them are out there because they want to get laid.
But listen, it wasn't too hard for the guys to get laid when they met a girl in the bar.
Right.
'Cause We,
You
we
meet
were
the
both
right
there for
girl.
the same thing.
we're all here for the same reason.
Right.
Right.
There's always going to be somebody throwing it out there.
I got another post here. It says, anyone else diagnosed with epilepsy as an adult? I'm a 34-year-old female, and I started having focal and tonic-clonic seizures about a year and a half ago. Before that, I'd never had anything, no signs, no warning, nothing. Now I'm on medication, but I still have seizures from time to time, and I'm learning how to live with this condition because it's changed my life for quite a bit, even with my sensitivity to certain environments, noise, lights, etc. is different now. It's hard to explain to people around me, but I feel like maybe someone here will get it. Has anyone else gone through something similar?
Exactly. We get it. We've all gone through. Andrea and I have both gone through the exact same thing. I mean, we both got it as an adults, and it messes up your whole life, as it does when you're a child. But you're used to doing something a certain way, and all of a sudden that way doesn't work anymore.
I didn't
And,
get it as an adult, so I don't understand, but
yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
yeah. It's in some ways it's a lot easier than getting it as a young person because you don't have to live with it your whole life. But then in other ways, you walk around, it's like all of a sudden, like for me, at 75, my life changed. I was having enough trouble
41.
I was having enough trouble, figuring out what I was doing. And
Yeah.
Andrea at 41, I mean, it's hard.
No, it wasn't 41. I can't add.
46. You're
Yeah.
46 now.
No, I'm 47, about to turn 48, and my first seizure was in 2000, and I was diagnosed in 2001.
Oh, so you were. A young person.
Yeah, I was in my 40s. I don't fucking know.
Man, you had a seizure in 2001?
Yeah, I had my first one in August 19th of 2020 at 5 a.m.
Oh, I thought you said
What?
2001.
That's what I thought.
No, I meant 2021.
Oh,
Sorry. I told you I'm bad. I can't talk today either.
I was gonna say 2001 and those dates you're putting together.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the
Man,
numbers too.
how are you an adult?
Yeah, we did that.
No, 2020, and then my first one was in August of 2020. The next one was the following May.
After your first one, did they just tell you, you got epilepsy?
No, I went. The first one they called Andrew called the paramedics, and basically, by the time they showed up, I was coming back, and they basically said, "Okay, you're peachy. You had a seizure. Follow up with your primary care doctor." So I called him and made an appointment for that day. And his first comment was, "Oh, you probably smoked some bad weed." Because I told him I had smoked some weed.
Of course,
And
it had to be
referred
your
me
fault.
to, right. And then referred me to a neurologist who immediately put me on Keppra. And I believe within a year and a half, I was angry and suicidal, and they took me off the Keppra and put me on Lamictal, and I was having EMUs, and now I'm on 4 meds and going for surgery eval.
I wonder why don't they just like throw the options out there, like you can take Keppra, Lamictal, or just like give you 4 options and then you like look at the side effects and then take it, but they just give you what they feel like gonna work. Then they
They
change
give
it.
you Keppra because
Yeah, they
Keppra
give
is the
every.
oldest and it's the cheapest.
Oh, I didn't know that was the reason.
I'm pretty sure it's been around the longest, so they just throw this at you, and if it works, great. If not, we'll try the newer, more expensive stuff.
Right.
Yep, that was the first seizure medication. My grandmother took that back in the late 1930s, early 40s when she had her head injury and started having seizures. That was the one that she was on.
Yeah, I think someone told me that Dilantin was the oldest. It was here in the 1800s. That's the first one I took. I was a child still, so I just took it just because that's what was prescribed. Yeah, or some
I thought
common.
I thought it was Keppra, but
Uh,
I never looked into it, so I could be wrong.
I mean, there's
yeah,
stuff that's older. 1912, they were using phenobarbital.
Yes, phenobarbital. That's what my grandmother took at first. There we go. She took Keppra later on. Thank you for reminding me and correcting me.
Pepper was what I took first.
But I just know it's one of the Kepra's one of the oldest. Therefore, since it's one of the oldest, it's probably one of the cheapest. Therefore, that's what the insurance companies probably want to pay for.
Yeah, she was my grandmother was born in 1914. She was 15 when she went to a concert and somebody threw a soda bottle into the crowd, and back then obviously they were glass. She was the unfortunate person that it hit, and directly in the head. So
Ouch.
a few months later, she started having her seizures, and that's when she was prescribed medication. So yeah, she so technically she had it, but it wasn't anything hereditary. It was from the head injury. So yeah, she never got a driver's license, never drove, never touched a steering wheel in her life since it happened. Yeah, when she was so young. just a random 1 in a million
Tragic.
type of thing. But yeah,
Tragic
happens
accident.
happens here and there. Yeah, my grandfather was killed in a 1 in a million way as well. So it was yeah, that side of the family is we got some bad
Been
luck over
through some
there.
shit.
Yeah, we got some bad luck over there. So
Not bad luck. That's stupidity.
Well,
Throw in a
the
glass.
Coke bottle was somebody's stupidity. It's not stupidity
Yeah.
on his family's fault.
No, it's the stupidity of the idiot who threw the bottle into the crowd.
oh
So,
yeah,
hey,
no.
hey,
I know what you meant. I know what you meant, Joe. And then yeah, my her eventual husband, my dad's parents, my dad's dad, he ended up um, being killed on an operating table um, because the anesthesiologist screwed up and a big air bubble got into the line. He was having heart surgery, so the air bubble went directly into his bloodstream and directly into his heart, um, and he passed away on the operating table. I can't remember the exact medical term for it, but there's only been like a handful of people that have um, been killed in that way.
The air embolism.
There, yeah. I mean, that's the yeah. What it is. There's some like specific weird medical word that's like 50 letters long or something, for the term for what it is. But yeah, it was like super rare. And then my grandmother, my dad, his brother, my uncle, obviously they tried suing the hospital and the doctor, but obviously, they didn't have much money at the time. Obviously, a hospital does, so they were able to get better lawyers and work their way around the law and everything, and nothing ever came of it. Um, I eventually, I'm such. We all know I'm fucking weird, so so I eventually, I gotten into all the ancestry, .com stuff and did all the like family digging and everything, and I just got it so in my head that I just needed questions answered. So I eventually ended up tracking down the doctor, and I called him and spoke to him for about an hour on the phone. He's still a doctor. He's in his 70s. He's still an anesthesiologist working in Long Island. And I called him and I was just like, dude, I have no, like, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to do anything. I have no hatred. I just want some questions answered, bro. And yeah, talk to him for an hour, just asking him stuff. It was an awkward conversation. It was kind of weird, but, but it gave me some answers toward stuff. And yeah,
that's nice that you got to talk to him.
yeah, I just kind of asked him. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, it was 1980, so or sorry, 81. So I mean, obviously like legitimately when he said he's like, medical practices, stuff that we know about medicine was completely different back then, and this and that, and blah blah blah, and this is what happened, and I'm already ranting. I'm not going to go into too many details, but he kind of told me what happened, and it kind of made sense, especially for being 45 years ago now. It we all it sucks because we all make mistakes like at our job, but when that's what your job is, your mistake ends up being a little bit more than oops, I forgot to put cheese on your taco, or or something like that. When you're an anesthesiologist, a mistake is very much more
Yeah.
than forgetting to put an item on your food order. So yeah, I understand. I don't understand, but I do understand. I have no, I mean, obviously I can't change the past, so there's no point in being super upset or super mad or anything at him. I was just glad to get, a few answers out of it, and time goes on. So
This isn't a question. It just asks for a few opinions because I thought it was interesting. It says CNN discovers exorcism inquiries that are on the rise in the U.S. This right here is why our research into cures is so hard. Until we all stand to have this ban, we will never make progress. I'm a Christian and strongly support everyone's freedom of religion, but this is just hate and not Christianity at all. What do you guys think about exorcisms?
I that's tough because yeah, like the person that posted it was saying is yeah, anybody can believe in whatever they want, in my opinion, you know. But as long as as long as you're not forcing it on to anybody else,
Yeah.
as that's my opinion at least. So yeah, like an exorcism or believing that somebody that has seizures has a demon or they're possessed or any of that, that's bullshit. When you start pushing it onto somebody else, then that's going a little bit too far. There's not demons and that stuff.
Few of the comments here. I just never really know what exorcism was all the way about. I just hear the word a lot. I don't exactly know like what they do. Like what is it doing to you? I never even researched it, but I will read a few comments here. What in the dark ages is going on? Another one says, "So am I possessed?" That's going to make holiday conversations tough this year. Another one here says, speaking as a recovering Catholic, adult Catholics who really believe this mythicism and magics of it all are some of the most deranged people you can meet. Stay far away.
Well, see, and that's another thing too. Is it depends on what religion the person is. Like a an exorcism from somebody that's Catholic is going to be different from someone that's Christian, and it'll be different from someone that's Protestant, and it'll be different from somebody that's Lutheran, and I could go on and on and on. Everybody has their own slight different beliefs of what the interpretations of the Bible or whatever. So each religion's going to have a different way about going an exorcism. So it like yeah, there's not one certain thing. It just doesn't make sense. Like if a Catholic exorcism works, then a Lutheran one shouldn't work. So why are the Lutherans doing it if the Catholic one works, and vice versa? Like it just none of it makes sense. It just depends on what you put your brain into and what you believe and what you were brainwashed into. Sorry, that was yeah, that was too far. That was offensive. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I don't know what it is. That's why I was looking to see if anyone exactly knew what it is to get an understanding. But anything helps me get further in knowing something about it. I do have another post here. It says, if you have a tonic-clonic and you're not driving at home or work, do you always report it to your doctor or DMV? I have had 2 previous licenses suspensions, so I'm just wondering how everyone will respond.
I'm good. How's everyone doing?
So far, so good.
Great.
Um,
Hey, what's up, Kevin?
Hey, James.
the icebreaker today was if you could put 3 things on a time capsule for other people 100 years away, what would it be?
Great, thanks.
James, I don't think you answered that either.
No, I didn't hear that one. I'm trying to think.
Me
Can I
too.
put myself in the time capsule?
I thought about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Lots of food. All right, now. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
My first one would be at least one of my super old watches, just to carry that on. Um, I don't know about the other stuff. Couple of other things. Well, 100 years. Damn, I was gonna say a couple of other things that I would leave like for my nephew, but obviously he wouldn't be alive by then. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know the other couple things. I'd just save one of my super old watches just so it continues on. But other than that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like some kind of writing. People need to know in 100 years what writing, you know, a book or something. That'd be very important.
There was a book someone told me I should read. It was called
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.